Okay, let's hope this works. The flickering light tells me the mic is on, and I am going to talk about very shortly and very quickly on my 10-minute break here at work. You can see behind me the tables and boxes and assorted comic books that we have to keep in our backstock, including this one right here. Hello! I'm X-Men number 24, and I am the first book Carla bought. That wasn't related to Star Trek in any way. It actually technically isn't my first comic. It's technically my first superhero comic. It is the first new comic I ventured out into the shelves for. At the time, the X-Men cartoon was running, and as a lot of young women my age, we all went for the style and pizzazz and epic romance that was the X-Men animated series on Fox, and soon I wanted to know more about the characters. I was lured in just appropriately enough, and lo and behold, X-Men 24. Adjectiveless X-Men 24. I didn't even understand all that at the time, but it was just so happened to be the week that book came out, and it just so happened to be the perfect launching point for what then became a ridiculously long career of reading comic books and collecting and enjoying and getting enthusiastic for. So I think the reason why is sadly not because of the art. There's a lot of weird pages in there. There's a lot of reference to what had happened in comics past or comics previous that weren't even in Adjectiveless X-Men. You'd had to read Uncanny X-Men in order to know that Illyana Rasputin died, and there's been a big fallout, and everybody in the mansion is sad, and this was a new thing for me. I didn't understand that this happened a lot with the X-Men. Like, oh my god, everything is terrible, oh, woe is us, somebody died, or what have you. That was new for me, and I suddenly was struck on an emotional level that all these characters were talking about, well, how sad this event was, but how beautiful life is, and how we should not mourn her death as much as celebrate her life. Refreshing and unheard of in my reading previously. So I was like, wow, this is deep and emotional. Little I know, X-Men deep and emotional, long story short. It happens a lot. Not only that, but a lot of characters returned at this time. Well, a lot of being Sean Cassidy, Banshee, and Scott Summers Cyclops, both of whom returned to previous loves, Jean Grey and Moira McTaggart, respectively. And that created a sense of welcoming as well. Kurt Busiek really did a good job of bringing these characters in such tremendously flowery language that you kind of get sucked into it. Like, he's also welcoming you as well. Welcome to the reader. We are sorry for the troubles past. We are looking now to new beginnings. Which, of course, the next issue, X-Men 25, we start Fatal Attractions, which is a whole other story. Quite a few, actually. But, so within this book, we get rogue romance. The infamous, oh, I cannot touch you, but I want to, I will take that dare, no, I will not. Again, brought on by X-Men the Animated Series, it turned out that this, hey, I was just like in the show I just watched, and like all teenage fangirls, you have a moment where you're like, oh, it's so romantic. It also heralded the legacy virus. It introduced me to new characters that hadn't been on the animated series, such as Illyana Rasputin, dead, but very important. Banshee, I don't think I'd seen his episode just yet, so he gets one. And at the end of the book, heralded this kind of like sense of foreboding that made me want to go get the next issue. Otherwise, X-Men 24 is a milestone in my personal life, because it created a love of comics that continues to this day. See boxes behind me. And is the first time I ventured out into the wilds of a brand new comic. I had collected several back issues before, thanks to my brother's collection that he gave me when I was in 6th grade for my graduation. He gave me a bunch of comics, and I immediately went to the Gold Key Star Trek in the back and collected Star Trek comics for about 5 or so years before I actually picked up anything like that. So yes, let's hear it for X-Men 24. Yay!